When the final whistle confirmed Arsenal's victory over Atletico Madrid, the Emirates Stadium completely erupted. Mikel Arteta and his players linked arms, sprinting towards the stands, while 60,000 fans drowned out the analysts with a booming rendition of North London Forever. The stakes behind that noise were massive. This victory secured Arsenal's first trip to a Champions League final in 20 years, keeping them on track for a potential continental double. But before the players had even left the pitch, a wave of familiar criticism rolled in. The celebration police had arrived. Speaking on television, Wayne Rooney criticized the scenes as premature. He argued that teams should only celebrate when they win the trophy, warning that these displays can come back to bite a squad. Even Arsene Wenger, the manager who led Arsenal to their only other Champions League final, echoed the need for restraint, advising the players to shift their focus immediately to the next game. This immediate pushback raises a vital question. In elite, high-pressure environments, is celebrating a milestone a dangerous distraction, or does that old-school stoicism ignore a hidden tactical advantage? The traditional logic of the celebration police relies on delayed gratification. They believe that maintaining absolute, unbroken focus is mandatory, and any early emotional release represents a loss of discipline. However, that perspective ignores the specific psychological environment this squad had been forced to endure. For months, Arsenal operated under a cloud of social media memes and bottler narratives, all while trying to end a 2-decade wait for European success. Maintaining top form in the Premier League is a relentless, exhausting process. Inside that pressure cooker, players develop a compounding need for positive reinforcement. The explosion of joy at the Emirates served as a vital psychological release valve for a squad under immense, sustained pressure. To understand the benefit of that release, we have to look at behavioral science. Sports psychologist Bradley Bush argues that these celebrations are actually a functional tool for team health. Bush calls this emotional contagion, where behaviors and attitudes ripple through a squad. A single energetic action rapidly activates an entire group. When Arsenal's players linked arms, they physically utilized this mechanism to lock in unity, spreading achievement through the roster. Bush identifies these moments as a sheer physiological release, allowing players to finally step away from the 24/7 mental burden of their professional goals. Suppressing those natural reactions would actually be counterproductive. In high-stakes environments, forced stoicism often causes pressure to build up to toxic levels. On-pitch celebration functions as a mandatory psychological reset, clearing out mental fatigue and bracing the squad for the next challenge. If these reactions are scientifically healthy, we have to define the boundary. Where exactly does a celebration become a genuine problem? This chart plots emotional release against future performance capability. Performance suffers when it crosses a specific threshold, where celebration directly impacts preparation. This drop-off occurs during in-match showboating while the clock runs, or when celebrations interrupt recovery and sleep required for the upcoming fixture. Everything else is a vital part of the game. Ian Wright defended the Arsenal squad precisely because football and life is composed of these fleeting moments of joy that must be protected. Demanding that athletes delay all happiness until the final victory is a flawed strategy. Celebrating milestones provides the essential emotional fuel required to actually reach the finish line.